Hi and good morning, everyone. It's Michael Edwards, founder of the Northern Affinity. Apologies in advance. I've started this live video and about 30 seconds before I started, next door's builders decided to start working. So if you do hear some banging in the background, I apologise for that. As ever, we are live on various social media channels today. So we're on Facebook, live on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and also on YouTube. So today's is a little bit different to normal videos. So we've had quite a lot of people asking about the Northern Affinity recently, so I wanted to do something just to kind of give people an overview of who we are, what we do, but also what the plans are for next year, because there's quite a lot of exciting things going on. So anybody's got any questions as we're going along, please feel free to put them in the comments bars. I'm more than happy to ask that. If you are watching it on repeat a little bit later, I know a lot of people do these type of things. Just type in the comments and I'll respond to them when I can, or just feel free to send me a direct message as well. More than happy to take any of them at any point. So, like I said, my name is Michael Edwards, and I'm the founder of Northern Affinity. And for many of you watching, probably the first question you might want to ask me is kind of what is the Northern Affinity, which is obviously a good question, a good place to start. And what I would like to do is kind of ask a question back to anyone who wants to know about the Northern Affinity. And I ask the question is, are you really good at are you even brilliant at what you do? But just not enough people know who you are and what you do. If this sounds familiar, this is essentially why I set up the Northern Affinity. What we do, we give our partners a platform to demonstrate how good they are at what they do, a place to come together with like-minded business people, and ultimately the ability to connect with their audience. So what we find is that our community quite often give each other a lot of belief, actually. It's the belief that we can achieve anything we want when connected with the right people. And I will talk about this in a little bit more detail in a few seconds. But I'm sure anyone watching this will agree that the more knowledge, the more experience, the more expertise that you have on your team, and that might not be directly employed by you or even in any sort of official capacity, but the people around you, the better chance you have of succeeding. So the Northern Affinity, we do this by working together. We use social media. Live videos like this is a very common thing. It's a very, very rare occurrence where it's just me on these live videos. Normally there might be several other partners talking about various different subjects. We hold all sorts of events, which again, I'll go to in a bit more detail in a minute. We've just recently launched a podcast as well. And it's all with the aim of bringing people together and giving them a platform. So our community is made up of kind of carefully chosen partners. All these partners are ambitious, and again, it's about giving them a platform to work together. That they want projects, share the knowledge, and challenge each other a little bit as well to grow. So, I mean, before I go into some kind of details, I kind of want to explain why I do this as well. As I've mentioned, I believe that so many people have so many great skills, but unfortunately, one of the difficulties, they can't get in front of enough of the right people. And I wanted to build a platform to help them with that. But secondly, I think a lot of us, and I've been guilty of this, I know I have, we kind of artificially put a glass ceiling above our heads. We only think we can take what we do so far. And we limit our thinking, quite frankly. And most often it's subconsciously. But like I said, I know I've been guilty of this. But for me, I was brought up around a family business that essentially started as a market stall and became a national chain. I've seen the business that can grow, and I've seen the benefits that can bring and how it can help people. And I wanted to give that kind of belief to other people I work with as well, and that they can do that as well. And they don't. Everyone has got different targets and goals, and I get that. And there's no right or wrong answer to that. But if we can maybe push our ceiling higher than we do. We stop ourselves getting to that's a really positive thing, and that's something I'm trying to create in the Northern Affinity. So where we are now and where we're going. So currently we're predominantly a West Yorkshire based group with about 50 partners in the group. Just had a couple more joined us in the last 48 hours or so, which is fantastic. But the plan is for 2020 to kind of increase that and really grow. We did get to full capacity back in October. Unable to take on new partners for a little while, but in the last few months, I've been spending my time along with other people, brilliant people I've been working with, to build that team up, so we've got more support and more resource, but also kind of improve the less exciting stuff, the processes and the systems to give us more capability and facility to take on more people, which is where we are now. and so we're taking more people on in our current West Yorkshire area. But the second bit and the kind of most exciting, the really exciting stuff is that we are going to be creating a number of new groups around the north of England, across the whole of the north of England. And what I'm very determined that will happen with the Northern Affinity is that you'll be part of the Northern Affinity first and foremost. You will not be in a local group. The main bit is you are in the Northern Affinity, and that doesn't matter whether you're in Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, Newcastle, or anywhere in between that. First and foremost, you are in the Northern Affinity, and lots of the stuff we do will bring in those people together. But you will as well have a local community feel to that as well, and we will have local groups with local bases and local events. So it will be a mixture, but the first and foremost, anybody in the Northern Affinity is in the Northern Affinity. They're not in the Northern Affinity West Yorkshire or the Northern Affinity Merseyside and so forth. It's about that bigger group, the community of people and businesses across the north. I'm sure the reason I want to do this is we've all probably seen that in 2020 the world has become a much smaller place. I mean, the technology like I'm using right now, this video that's been there for a few years, but all of a sudden has exploded, has given us that opportunity, and it's about bringing together a community of people, not so much on geography, or not very close geography, but on values as well. They're just important. They are more important in my opinion as well. So with this in mind, one of the things I've done is I've restarted our getting to know the Northern Affinity events. So if anybody was interested in that, I've put a link in the comments that you can have a look at. We with this, we have a maximum of 8 people on this event. It's a discussion. I will give some more information and kind of meat on the bones on what we've just talked about now. But more importantly, I'll answer questions. I'll talk to people as much as I can and kind of understand more about your businesses. And that we do that. So like I said, maximum of 8 people, and it's to make sure it's a discussion and not a lecture. So kind of moving on, some of the things we currently do, like I said, the aim of it is all to give a platform for people. And we do this, collaboration is kind of the key to what we do, and understanding what this my first and main role in all this is to find out what you do as a business, find out all about that, to be able to connect you with other people in the group, because I've done that activity with everybody. And it's bringing people together before any events have happened, before you've had any sort of conversations. We'll bring people together based on something. It's a reason to communicate, and not just because you happen to stand next to them in a queue at an event. There's a reason to it. We use a platform as well called Workplace, which some of you may know is a Facebook product, Facebook business platform essentially, and it's an environment to engage with the fellow partners, to chat with each other, support each other, ask questions, everything like that. Stream videos in there as well. Many of the live videos we do on Zoom go straight into there as well, so people can watch back. Like I mentioned, live videos, we do a lot of that with our partners. We have a podcast, as I mentioned as well. Social media is big for us as well. And then finally, the other big part of what we do is around events. So we have a weekly how-to webinar where one of the partners will choose a particular area they are an expert in and pass that knowledge on to other people in the group. And that's a library of content that we keep, and it is there kind of on demand as well. We have our main monthly meeting, which is a little bit of a mixture of kind of education piece and kind of people getting to know each other, which happens in our group in West Yorkshire here, the back end of each month, last Friday of every month. We have local get-togethers. So even within our area of West Yorkshire, we have 3 areas where we will get together for very informal. I mean, before all this last year, we met in a pub or in a cafe or a restaurant for lunch and just got to know each other a bit better. Obviously, that not been as possible this year, so we've done more outside activities, going for walks, and just again informal environments, getting to know each other. And finally, we also do a power hour networking, which happens twice a month, 1 hour, small groups, conversations, and go from there. As I mentioned earlier, the team is growing. We're moving forward. Already work with about a dozen people in the group, but just very recently created 2 new jobs, which will be going live hopefully back end of this year, if not early next year, in kind of events and social media. So really looking forward to getting a couple of new people on board. And that's kind of it from me as an update on the Northern Affinity. Kind of tried to get through it as quickly as possible. I appreciate everyone's time and wanting to kind of explain what we do in a brief nutshell. But if you are interested in more, what I would say is the getting to know Northern Affinity events are ideal for that. We have one more next week, next Tuesday, and then twice a month in the new year. So all the details are in that link I posted. If anyone can't find that, just let me know. I'm more than happy to do that. And all I would say is finally from me, 2020 has been such a challenging year for all of us in many ways, both personally and professionally. Fortunately, there feels like there is a little bit light at the end of the tunnel now. So everybody who's doing that, just keep going. Hopefully by the summer, we can maybe all get together, have a big party and a big conversation, and everything can start getting back to, I won't say get back to normal, because I think there's been lots of good things that have changed, but we can start having a lot more freedom, I guess, and business and everything can start progressing. So thank you everyone for your time. If you do have any questions or anything like that, obviously I'm always open to a conversation with anyone. And yes, thank you, and have a great day.